And welcome to my finale of the Red Dead Redemption 2 gang members tier list. And if you haven't already, go check out the other two parts. This has been kind of fun, doing all the tier lists and stuff. I'm excited to do more in the future. Maybe we'll do like the GTA games and stuff in the future. And yeah, let's just get into it. So first up, we have Sean, and Sean was this Irish guy in the camp, and the first mission we find him in is the one where we break him out. We got to go back to Blackwater and go rescue him from the transport because he's gonna get shipped off to somewhere because he's in jail or something. So we rescue him. I love like the whole mission where we break him out right there. I thought that was like one of the strongest missions in chapter 2 itself, and I love when just like the little interactions in the camp, and I love him in chapter 3, the train heist with John, but it was a shame how he died. So we're in the middle of town towards the end of chapter 3. He gets shot like out of nowhere basically, and that's basically the end of him. So it was such a shame that we didn't really spend as much time together with him as we did with like the other members. But the time we spent together was pretty fun. So I'll put him at C tier. He was a pretty cool guy, not gonna lie. All right, next up we have Leopard Strauss, and this is gonna be kind of interesting one because Leopard Strauss is this kind of like bank guy in the camp. Like he does all the debts and stuff. So chapter 2, Arthur's helping him do all like the missions and stuff with the bank, and he's got to go collect all the debts from the houses and stuff from all these poor people. And this is our second way of getting money. So he's in charge of lending out debts, and then we got to go recover them. There's this one guy, and his name was Thomas Downs, and Arthur was sent by him to go get the debt, but that guy had tuberculosis. At the time, we didn't really know this, but throughout the game, Arthur gets tuberculosis, and this is where he gets him from. He gets him from this guy, and Leopold Strauss sent him on this mission to go get the debt. And to be honest, and you kind of find out he's such a scummy guy because at the end of chapter 6, he's been ripping off these poor people who have barely any money. And I love if you have high honor. This moment where you kick him out of the camp, where Arthur just goes in, and because he found out the truth, the lady and the son down the street that we just ripped off all the money from, they're fucking poor, and he's just a big scumbag in the camp. He's kind of an asshole, and he ripped off a lot of poor people. So yeah, I'll put him at D tier, bottom of D tier. Yeah, he's quite an asshole. Next up, we have Reverend Swanson, and now Reverend Swanson was the sort of priest guy in the camp. He's not really in the game too much, but I just love when we first meet him. He's getting drunk at the poker game, basically, and he kind of wanders off camp. We gotta go find him now, and he's just off drunk. He almost gets hit by a train in chapter 6, where if you haven't met the church lady in chapter 4, you would get him instead at this one mission where you meet him at the train station. It'll be either the woman from the church or this guy, depending on if you met her or not. Talks to Arthur about because Arthur's dying, and then he's getting away from the gang, and he just talks about you're a good man, and basically he tells Arthur that you're a good man, and even though you do a lot of bad stuff, you're still good on the inside. And I just love that talk. Sometimes I prefer his version over I forget her name, but that one what are they called, nuns or something? I think that one nun from the church in St. Denis, just because I think how raw and I guess personal it was. But I just love that thing. But overall, not a whole lot, obviously. Put him at C, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm at C. Next up, we have Tilly. So Tilly, one of the women in the gang, and overall, she doesn't do a whole lot. I feel like I'm repeating myself sometimes when I talk about these characters, but I think in chapter 3, there was this one where she gets kidnapped and gotta go rescue her. I think she's pretty much just a better version of Karen, I would say. She's very loyal to Arthur, Arthur and all the women basically had good relationships. But I would say about this, Tilly in the epilogue, I said this in my last video, but she meets John St. Denis, and she basically married this rich lawyer. She has a baby now. She's a kid. Tilly had this really good life, and because she was in the poor gang, she grew up in the Vanderlyn gang, and just to see her live in Saint Denis now with this rich lawyer, it's such a big shift of what she was, where she came from, I guess, and that's a big theme in the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 universe, I guess. So I would put her at I would say B tier, just because I just personally like her a little bit more than the guys in C tier. And next up we have Uncle, and Uncle is pretty funny, because he's this lazy little douchebag, and they fucking camp. He's got lumbago, you know.
I got lumbago.
But anyways, Uncle is a pretty cool guy, to be honest. There's these like theories that he's actually Red Hollow from the very, very first Red Dead Redemption 2 game, like 20 years ago or something. So I'm just fast forwarding to the epilogue basically because he does really nothing throughout the entire game. So in the epilogue, John is on his way to get the loan for his ranch at Blackwater, and then it's sort of weird. Like all of a sudden, he just shows up outside. He's like, "Oh, what, John? What are you doing?" It's so weird, like, to see him. Like, that's how he met, because, you know, in the first Red Dead Redemption 2, like, they're like, you know, he's like, it makes him seem like he's been with him forever. But even like though, like even in the Vanderlyn gang, in the main like story part of in Red Dead Redemption 2, he did nothing. He was like this kind of like guy who just sat in a camp. But I don't know. It was such a weird moment because, you know, you think they would have a closer relationship, but they're just like, oh, I guess we're stuck together, you know. But I think it's kind of comedic and like ironic way. But I love their banter in the epilogue because them building the ranch with Charles and stuff. And overall, I just love this character. Like, I don't know, he's just like that goofy, like, sitcom guy, you know? But I love him, we all love him, to be honest. I'll put him at B tier. But, like, character-wise, he doesn't have, like, much character traits. He doesn't have, like, heart, you know? And he goes on, but, you know, it is what it is. And finally, we have Sadie Adler. And Sadie Adler was, you know, obviously one of my favorite characters in Red Dead Redemption 2. I love her introduction, where we meet her. We just meet her right after her husband dies, basically. And for some reason, they live way up in the mountains. Throughout her life, she had a normal life. She was married, you know, this and that. But it all kind of ended once the O'Driscolls came and they killed her husband. So we are basically stuck with her, you know, through most of the game. And she's just kind of there in the camp because we can't really abandon her, you know. But I love when it kicks off in chapter 3, where she's like, okay, let's get ready. Like she wants to be a part of this gang now. And she kind of wants to get revenge on the Driscolls, but that's coming later. You know, she sets up in chapter 3. She you know, she's really good with the guns. And Arthur's like, whoa, like, you know, this chick's got some moves. You know, she's like really killing people, like, you know, like stabbing people in the throat. And this is all revenge for her husband dying. And you know, later on in the chapter 6, where we go see Colm hang, she just turns into the psycho bitch and she just fucking kills everyone. This is kind of her character arc. She starts off like she has a normal life, you know. She doesn't really want any part of these gangs or anything, but, you know, like the revenge of her husband really like stuck into her heart, you know what I'm saying? And there's a point in chapter 6 where her and Arthur are talking, like, she's like, you want to go finish off the O'Driscolls, even though Colma's dead. There's still more out there. I still want to kill more of them. What's the point, you know? Colma's dead, but she still wants to get that urge of revenge. She still wants to, like, keep on killing these people. And we go to that one farm, and, you know, she kills that one guy upstairs, and she's got blood all over her fucking body, like, you know. But I think that was the guy who killed her husband, and, you know, she really wanted revenge. And this is this whole, like, point in the story was the turning point. You know, in the epilogue, she's this ruthless, like, you know, chick, and she is really, like, I guess, powerful, like, masculine woman. But I guess that's what, you know, the gang rivalry made her into be, like, because she lost everything because of the O'Driscolls. And I just love her and Arthur, like, throughout the entire game. They got along really good. It was sort of like, you know, nothing romantic because Arthur never really had that romantic spark in himself. Neither did Sadie after her husband, because I think she always, like, felt, you know, kind of compelled to her husband. Like, even after he died, and she never really wanted to move on or find someone else, I guess. And even in that epilogue, she never really found someone else. She just is kind of this, like, lone wolf kind of character, and she comes like a bounty hunter in the epilogue, you know. But I just love her overall character. She goes from this innocent, like, you know, woman to becoming this, like, ruthless, like, killer, and, you know, this strong, like, force not to be reckoned with. So I just love her character overall. I'll put her at A tier, obviously. And yeah, we finally did it. We finally completed the Red Dead Redemption 2 tier list. And I really wanted this to, like, expand over a few videos, but just because I had so much to say about each, you know, character. But I'm gonna just quickly recap all these. So in A tier, we have Arthur, John, Hosea, Charles, and Sadie. B, we have Abigail, Lenny, Mary Beth, Tilly, Uncle. And C, we have what's her name? I forget her name now. I forget her name. Jack, Trelon, Pearson, Sean, and Reverend Swanson. D, we have Bill, Javier, Karen, and Leopard Strauss. And F, we have Dutch, Micah, and Molly. So yeah, that's about it. I had a blast making all these tier list videos. I really want to do more in the future. I have a lot of great content coming out in the future, so I hope you guys stick with me for that. And I know that, obviously the tier list videos have been really popular on my channel. Yeah, just give it a like if you enjoyed, and if you make it to the end, thank you so much, and leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in the future. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.